Should you repair the headstock or should you buy a new guitar? Well, it depends on a bunch of different factors. It depends on how cheap it is, to put it bluntly. If it's a guitar that you bought for $50, well, no, it's not worth it. Maybe even $100, it's not worth it. But once it starts getting up into, say, the $200, $300 range, then, you know, I mean, what guitars cost now are more than they cost back then, and a lot of times the wood now is not even as good as the wood was back then. It all depends. Maybe a guitar that cost $300 15 years ago costs maybe $600 now, as an example. So, yeah, you have to think about all these things. But as I told you, these kind of brakes here, which I glued this is glued, okay, and it might look strong, but it's not strong, and I'll tell you why. This is a 90-degree brake, but somebody put 2 screws in here, screws about that long, and ran them this way, or through the back end. I'll show you the holes in the back end. Right there. And you can see the crack here, which now goes 90 degrees to the front. So the person who did this sunk 2 screws in here and thought, wow, you know, that's going to repair the neck. And it might last for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, but it's not going to last very long before it breaks. Strings go along here and hook to the bridge here. So as you tighten the string, it puts pressure on this whole neck from here, from the headstock on down. And the reason why it does the whole thing, because if it's a strong piece of wood, it's structurally sound, then the whole piece bears the load. In engineering, all engineers know that the weakest link, any kind of load, will seek out the weakest link. The pressure will go where the weakest link is and eventually break it. Now, I glued this on for the purpose of analyzing what can be done and to see if the wood would go back together as it should. So here's what your choices are in something like this, so that you understand. Let's look at the guitar from the side. Here's the headstock, and then here's the neck. The angle's a little over exaggerated on this acoustic, but let's say like that. Before a good break, if there's any such thing, it's going to be on an angle like that, or close to that angle. The more angle you have, in most cases, is good, and as long as you don't have like splintered wood like this, you're okay. So one end's like this, the other end's like this, and because they put the screws in, they pushed all this splintered wood over to both sides, this way and this way on both screws, if you will. And then when they move the splintered wood here, it doesn't fit, it doesn't match anymore to this one. So you have to take out all that splintered wood, that damage, you've got to grind it out of there or cut it out of there, and just leave the wood that's going to join together nicely. That isn't going to do nothing. See? So you join it back together, you clean it out, it's a straight break like that. The minute you put a load on it, it's going to take the wood on both sides of that glue. If it doesn't break that glue, it's going to take whatever fibers are loose in there that's shredded out because of the break and work on them. They're already weak and it'll break within a matter of time. The best thing you can do is, if we look at the neck from this angle straight on, this is the neck, this part right here. If we route out all that wood like this on both sides. Take a piece of wood like that, glue it in there. Glue it in there from, say, here to here. Both sides, and here's that metal bar that straightens out the neck. Then come back after these dry and bring this down and put another piece of wood here. Then we can sand all this down or file all this down till it's close, then use our sanding and shape it all back out again. And it's like replacing that with a piece of wood. The other option, which is too expensive for a unit like that, is to measure everything out, take the angle here, and let's say we cut like this. Then we have the wood here, and we cut like this. So we take out all this bad wood here and here and here. Let's say that's about an inch of wood, or, yeah, about an inch of wood. So we take a block of wood like that, angle it the same way from both sides, and put it in there like that, and then sand it all down. Glue it all together and sand it all down. Now, when you put the load here, this is like one piece again. So the whole neck is sharing that load when you're tightening the strings. Same with this one. And for this guitar, I recommend this repair right here. That's it. You should know everything now to make a good decision.